Hey everybody, welcome to Burning Hammer Wrestling.
What up?
We're back. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a banked episode come out, so we're behind on our swap picks. We're gonna go through those. If you ever want to follow along with us, you can go to our blog on our website.
Yep.
And we post the picks like as soon as the episode comes out. So we try to like put the links up there too, so you can watch them. But obviously we have no control if these videos get taken down or whatever.
Yeah.
So some of the older ones or whatever,
you
you can't follow along with those probably. And it's going to be weird once they move to Netflix because all the Peacock links will be broken. So
yeah, that's going to be cool.
I don't really know how you even link to specific Netflix. You probably could through your browser, but I don't know. It's always a weird thing when you link to a streaming service.
Yeah.
So our picks. So I had a TNA match that I gave you, and then the one that I got was like fucking brutal. It's pretty hilarious because I just watched it again because I was like, it's not even a long match. It's only like 3 to 5 minutes or something.
So the match itself is only a couple minutes.
Well,
and then they go for more.
Yeah.
Yep. They weren't done yet when that happens.
Well, so I read some stuff about it and how I guess they were mostly just pissed that like they went to WCW. These guys. Yeah, they were just kind of because they had the decision. They could have been like because they came from ECW, right? So they were like, well, they had the choice to either go to WCW or WWF. And they were mostly like upset about that decision that they had made. That's what I read. But the match itself, like basically Bradshaw, you could tell came out with intent.
Yeah. Well, the story that Bradshaw tells is
I didn't listen to him talk about it.
Okay, so he said that what happened right before the match.
Oh, about the tables and
yeah. Is that right as they're at the fucking curtain?
Yeah.
The guys go, oh, by the way, we're not going through tables tonight. Yeah. So
that's
our finish, we're not doing that. See you out there. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, interesting. So then he went to Farouk and goes, so they just said they're not going through the tables. And Farouk goes,
we'll see about that.
Okay, we'll bring the tables to them then. Yeah. And they did.
I thought it was because like the way they come to like it was all business too.
Oh my God. The way they walk to the ring.
Yeah.
Because Public Enemy comes out first. And then Farouk and Bradshaw walk out. They don't do any taunts. They don't do anything.
Yeah, they're just straight down the ramp.
They just walk out super pissed.
Yeah. And it goes like immediately. It's just like they're like, this is not going to be this is not going to be.
Oh yeah.
The commentary team's like,
they know. They can tell. You can tell that the commentary can see them coming down the ramp, and they're looking, going,
and they know Bradshaw.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they know how that works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that like immediately it's clear that it's not going to be good. Oh, and there's a huge clothesline, just absolutely decapitates the guy. But basically, it's just like 3 to 5 minutes of them like hitting him with chairs, like hard chair shots.
Zero offense from Public Enemy.
Nothing. Just a complete and total like just a burial. Just a burial.
Absolute burial. And they ran him out. They ran him out of the company.
Some of the most brutal like chair shots I've seen, just like laying into him, dude.
Yeah, so bad. So
bad. They're hitting him with everything, like stairs, tables, like broken tables.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they do end up going through the table.
Oh yeah, dude. The craziest thing to me is seeing Farouk do the Dominator to guys that big.
Yeah,
with no issue. Absolutely no issue.
There was a wicked stiff boot to the face, too, that I remember.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they kicked the absolute shit out of those guys.
Yeah. The chair goes through a head. Yeah, and then they get DQ'd.
Of course.
Obviously.
Yeah, because the ref at some point realizes what's going on and goes, I've got to DQ it. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and then JBL walking up the ramp after the match. He's still throwing tables towards the ring.
Yeah, he's so pissed, dude.
Oh my God, it was fun. I watched it at least like 3 or 4 times because it's just like hilarious.
It's so good. It's so good. And apparently, I heard after that the same thing basically happened in ECW, and it's why they left ECW, because they're just piece of trash guys, apparently. And obviously, I don't know them, but the perception is they're piece of trash guys with egos that were like, we're not going to do the job.
Yeah.
We're not going to do your finishes. We're not going to be professional. And they did that against Bubba Ray and Devon in ECW, who also went, we're killing you and we're destroyed. They just beat the fuck out of him and ran him out of the company.
You're going to get just put in your place if you're going to do shit like that. It's not,
absolutely. Yeah. Everybody there is a team behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And is counting on you to be safe and fucking play ball.
Yeah.
It's a work. No one cares.
You just do what you're told to do.
Yeah, like, it's your job to go do it.
You're like protecting the brand too. It's like, I don't know. But I did read some shit also about, their decision to go to WCW. They had made some, I don't know, JBL didn't like it or some shit.
So, them in WCW was another match that I want to give you, but I'm never going to find it. And that's why I don't have it for today. I'm just never going to find it, period. So, which is a bummer. It's a bummer.
It's the same match?
No, Public Enemy.
I was going to say they were never...
Public Enemy feuded with people.
They were never in WCW, right?
Yeah, they were. They were.
Oh, JBL was?
Not JBL. No, Public Enemy was in WCW.
Yeah.
And they had a match. They had like a feud, I think, with Disco Inferno and Alex Wright, whose only reason they got teamed up is because they both fucking did a stupid dance, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason I remember those matches is because there was a third dancing guy, Tokyo Magnum, who would interfere in the matches and get put through a table. Okay. And then he would always end up landing on the table, so it would like break like this. Perfect, and he'd be laying just right so that he'd be flat down with just his head going cranked by a table, leaned up, so he'd be leaning just his head on the table, getting destroyed.
Tokyo Magnum.
And I can't find the matches anywhere, dude. They're just lost to the abyss of like 2000 or 1999 WCW when it was completely in the toilet.
Guy. Okay, I do remember this guy.
That guy. And by all accounts, he's actually good, but all he did... And there he is with Disco.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So I couldn't find a match. I couldn't find a match of it, but I'm looking, and when I find it, I'll at least send it your way. You'll love it.
Ultimo Dragon versus Jobber Tokyo Magnum.
I love that. Ultimo Dragon is awesome, though.
That's unnecessary. And then there's just pictures of actual guns.
And there's him doing a stupid fucking dance with another guy with a goddamn dance. La Parka. He had probably the best dance. Yeah, look at that.
Doing a lot of dancing, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. La Parka was...
This era is so shot, but it's so funny. A gif of him dancing.
No way with the dance.
Yes, that's the dance.
The La Parka.
The La Parka one of he does the knees.
God, that's so dumb.
That's the best thing ever. Guaranteed the crowd pop for La Parka and booed Tokyo Magnum. Oh my God.
This is why I need to get my computer hooked up to this so I can show
this. We can, absolutely. That is so funny, dude. But yeah. So the match you gave me was the what did they call
from Slammiversary. It was
no. They
King
call
of the Mountain match.
King of the Mountain match, and
it's kind of like a ladder match in a way. It's weird.
Sure, it is.
Yeah, it's very gimmicky.
So this match was a shit show of a gimmick of a match.
Yeah, with a bunch of star names.
Good. By the guys in it only. So it was Kurt Angle. And he looked like, dude, in my notes, I have that he looked like he was in impossible shape.
Yeah. Well, he's in TNA. This is like his prime.
Peak of his career,
But then you got like Mick Foley and fucking Samoa Joe. AJ Styles
Foley,
is in it.
AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, Angle. I think that's it, right? No, it's Angle, Foley, Angle, Foley, Joe, AJ Styles.
That sounds right.
Jeff Jarrett, and then is that it?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, I think there's only the 5 guys, right?
Can't remember if it's a 6 man.
If there's a 6th guy, I'll find out in my notes. But anyways, I put down that it was a shit show of a match concept, which I think is true. It was
Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, okay. So that is everybody.
Yeah, wow.
So
why is it a 5-man?
It's such a bullshit match. Now, this is still 6-sided ring TNA, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's a ladder match where you have to go up and grab a belt, but you don't get to go up and grab it until you get a pinfall for some reason.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no
sense.
sense.
Why do we need the ladder part?
And when you get pinned, you go into the penalty box.
Yeah, there's a box.
But there's guys that go in there multiple times because they get pinned by everybody. Like Foley is just constantly in the penalty box, which was very clearly a design by the guys in the match going, hey, how beat up are you? Like, you can tell they had a conversation in the back with Foley, who is the champion at this point. I didn't know he was world champion in TNA, but he's the champ at this point.
He didn't have like a really long run there, but
yeah, but I mean, it ends here. But he's like, you can just tell in the back, they were like, how beat up are you, Foley? And he went 9,999 out of 10.
It's every body part's red.
He was the eyeball body from Total Recall from fucking Aqua Teen.
Yeah,
when he gets flushed down the toilet and they put his head on eyeballs and it just a breeze has his full body agony. Yeah. That was Foley in that match. But he looked like he was in really good shape. I was surprised by how he looked. So I would say, I'll look at my notes because there's a lot I would say, but like I want to make sure I get through them all.
I just felt like they made the match all right.
Yeah. Everybody in the match was absolutely fantastic, I thought. Started off an absolute mess.
Yeah.
With somebody just immediately takes a pin on purpose, which I thought was so stupid.
Yeah.
And who was it? Who was it? It was Joe getting somebody. Oh, Joe. It was before the match starts. Joe attacks Angle, and then they DQ him and send him to the penalty box and count it as Angle can now go for the belt, which made no sense at first.
I think it was. Yeah, it was.
But they explain it at the end.
Yeah.
All in all, I didn't think that there was any major spots that had my jaw on the floor.
No.
But it was overall just a surprisingly good match for, like, when I went in and also, the promo package was as long as the match.
Yeah, it was.
Like, the promo package, it was as long as the match.
The match was like 20, 30 minutes.
And the promo package was amazing and made the match feel really special. Like, they did, that promo package was really good.
Yeah, this is a strong sign of TNA. Like, it's a strong...
That promo package was amazing. This is like Aces and Eights area.
Yeah,
I think, right? For and Angles, like the...
It was...
Right?
Slammiversary...
Like 04 or something? 05? I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't write down what year.
I can't remember.
But either way, I thought it was wicked sketchy when Foley got up on top of the penalty box, though.
Yeah.
And teased suplexing, or they teased AJ suplexing Foley off the penalty box through the commentary table. And I was like, I've never seen the match.
Yeah, they did do that.
So I was like,
there's no way he does this.
No. Don't do that. And then they didn't. And he just like shoves AJ off. And I legitimately was like, oh, like, I know he's alive. I know he's okay. He's alive right now.
We know he lives.
So I know he's good, but even still, I just was like, no way. AJ was the MVP of the match, though. I thought he had the most amount of really good work and segments of match with everybody in the match. Like, I think he worked the hardest of everybody in the match.
Well, he's like the youngest guy in the match, too. And
he's just such an animal, too, though. He's so good, dude. And seeing him at that point, they called him the phenomenal AJ Styles, and that was like, he is in his, like, basically current gimmick that he's made his career on because it just works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he carried most of that over. So
the match started slow. It was a clusterfuck. A lot of guys just didn't. You could tell they were like,
well,
how do we do this?
Yeah, you don't know where to go with it. That's the problem. Is the
Having said that, once everybody got pinfalls and it was even footing, it started to pick up, and the last 6 minutes or so of the match were better than the rest of everything and felt longer and more intense than the entire match prior to that. The finish was good and made sense out of the, I have noted, very dumb shit show start to the match.
Yeah.
So it made sense of it, though, because then you see that Samoa Joe crawfishes AJ or whatever and screws everybody over to make Angle win and like sides with aces and eights. And that when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because it makes sense of the, like, why would he do that in the beginning? You know?
Like, TNA was always, they always wanted gimmicky shit. Like, they had, like, matches on the rafters and shit. You could feel
that it was overbooked.
Yeah. They used to do, like, literally, like, a big X, like, rafters, and then they would have a match on the fucking rafters. And it was like, why are you guys doing this? Like you don't have to do this just to be different. Like that's
yeah. And I have noted stuff I already brought up, like the intros made it feel like a huge deal, and they were as long as the match, and Angle was in insane shape. Foley looked like he was in great shape, but gassed 5 seconds. He did nothing, and he was like, I'm gassed already.
And he's hanging around, yeah.
Yep. Overall, bad, clunky match concept turned into a solid match by an extreme amount of talent in their prime.
Yeah.
Other than obviously Foley was not in his prime.
No, I just think it was fun overall because it's like they turn it into something.
Overall, I really enjoyed it. They took chicken shit and turned it to chicken salad for sure with that.
Yeah, because it's so tough to work with that gimmick. And that's all TNA. It's all TNA.
The only other thing I do want to mention is that I thought the commentary was good, and I think that the main reason I thought it was good was because Mike Tenay is so fucking awesome, dude. Yeah. I love Mike Tenay. To me, he was like the most grounded, important. Like, everybody thinks of, what's his face? WCW Schiavone, Tony Schiavone. Everybody always thinks of him as like the centerpiece of WCW in its peak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Tenay is just as important because he was like the expert on Japan and Mexico and stuff, who knew all the guys' moves and names. And he was like an analyst. Even though he wasn't a wrestler, he just knew like everything. And he was a very no-nonsense, articulate, even-keeled, like sports broadcaster presentation of commentary. And I think he's really good, man. I really like Tenay.
Which is weird because he's not really the play-by-play guy.
No.
Because Schiavone is.
Yeah, Schiavone was for sure. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the match. But you could, like, it was a good example of all the things that they did well in TNA in that era and the things they got wrong.
Well, yeah, and how the talent was able to salvage some of that.
Yeah. TNA got very far, and this is coming from limited viewing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like TNA got so far because they signed guys that were unknowns who happened to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like AJ Styles and Joe and stuff.
Yeah.
And others, as well as guys like Angle in his prime, you know?
Yeah. Well, Jeff Jarrett he knows what he's doing. Jeff
Jarrett is, I think he gets a lot of hate he doesn't deserve. I used to give it. I used to buy into the whole dude broke 100 guitars and never drew a dime shit. You know what I mean? I used to buy into it too, but that's one dude's opinion.
Yeah, but he was a staple, though.
Part of a shit show team at the end of WCW. Yeah. It's like, who gives a fuck what that guy says?
Jeff Jarrett was like all over the place in WWF. Like, when, you know, he was on every week. You'd see him.
He was an IC title guy multiple times, and I think Jarrett now, when you see him in AEW, I think he's done some of his best promos in AEW. Yeah.
And people he got so much heat too. Like he did so many promos with like Deborah and shit.
Yeah.
Where he'd like cover her up and she's trying to strip, and it would make like young men mad.
Yep. And he'd be saying women need to be barefoot and pregnant and shit like that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wicked good. He got heat. Really.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, my opinion on Jarrett these days has changed for sure. And he just on AEW, he just came out and said he wants to make one more run for gold before he calls it. I hope he does. I hope they do something with him. He's good, man. He deserves it. He's eaten a lot of shit in the public opinion that I don't think he deserves.
Long career, too.
Very long, and still in great shape.
Yeah. Can't argue with that, really.
No.
So my match for next time is going to be Mr. Kennedy versus Hardcore Holly.
Thank you.
WWE No Mercy 2005.
No Mercy 05?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
I love Mr. Kennedy, dude.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Kennedy.
Mine is a shoe-in. Like, I wanted to give it to you because it gives us a chance to talk about it.
Okay.
But you've seen it before. Like, no question. But it's like if you haven't watched it in a while, it's one of those matches that I haven't watched in a while, and I'll be watching it too because of this.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the most nostalgic matches of all time for me. It's going to be, and we're probably going to go to this pay-per-view a few times because it's so important, but I was going to give you...
Is it X8 or something?
No, close. Stone Cold versus The Rock 2 at WrestleMania 17. Yeah. Yeah, that has, in my opinion, the greatest build-up promo segment of all time. That is the greatest build to a wrestling match I've ever seen. Yeah. Is that. So I was like, it's an easy one. I get it. Everybody's seen it.
We haven't talked about
it. But we haven't talked about it. So I was like, let's go there. Let's do it. So, yeah. 17, Mania Austin. And there's a lot to talk about in it, too, that you might not remember.
Yeah.
For sure. But make sure you watch... The video that I'm going to send you is a compilation that's on YouTube that's literally called The Feud. And it's Rock versus Austin, and it shows you everything. It's like over an hour long, but it just shows you everything. And then the last thing it shows you is the whole match.
Okay. Yep. Oh, no way. That's sick.
Yep.
That's one thing you don't get if you just watch the...
No, this has it has literally the weekly build.
I was reading that a lot of the stuff is already moving to Netflix. Like a lot of the back catalogs has. Yeah. But I didn't look for it, but...
No, yeah, I haven't either
yet. The Limp Bizkit, dude. That Limp Bizkit song is just... That makes me think of that match every time.
Yeah, every time I hear that song, I think of specifically the part where it turns to clean guitar. And in the promo video, it shows... Austin and Rock in the ring. And this was like a week or two before Mania, where they're in the ring and they have beers and they do like the wicked hard cheers. And then they blow up and start throwing bombs, dude. The crowd's like, blows the roof, dude. That is such a...
That song rips, too.
To me, it does. To me, WrestleMania 17 is the centerpiece night. That one night of WrestleMania 17 is the centerpiece, pinnacle moment, single night of the entirety of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
That is the moment. And that, dude, and another match that will absolutely get watched during these at some point and talked about is TLC at Mania 17.
Yeah.
Has to. Yeah. Absolutely
it's
has to.
Yeah. If it's not on my list, it's because it's so obvious.
Yeah. Yep. But... I think that we're definitely just gonna do obvious matches like that at some point because it's gonna get us talking about it on here.
And like, there's some stuff on here that's not like pretty recent, so it's like
sure, yeah. I have recent matches too. Definitely,
so yeah.
But that was my next one I had. And that was actually my
to be able to talk about the match itself, though, because like I feel like a lot of time we peripherally talk about it is like the build
and all the stuff, the JR sit down,
everything around
stuff.
it, the fanfare around.
But the actual match we'll go into, that was actually my second. Because for my list of matches that I want to give to you, right? That was the second from the top because the first from the top was that fucking Tokyo Magnum thing, but I just couldn't find it. So I was like, I'll lower that and I'll find it. We'll hit it again sometime. Because some of these I'm giving to you because I'm like, I'm gonna watch it too. I gotta know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like for some reason I just remember that as a thing. from fucking 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
a lot of the time. It's like I remember this match vaguely.
Yeah.
There was a
At this
reason
point,
I
it's like
liked
25 years ago.
and then I'm like, well, I'm obviously gonna have to watch it again because
Yep.
there's no way
Yep.
I'm remembering that.
Absolutely. So you gave me one that's No Mercy 05, Kennedy versus who?
Hardcore Holly.
Oh, damn. Okay.
This was, I can't even remember the main event, but I think Eddie Guerrero was in the main event of that.
Now, not to spoil anything, is that the match where Holly takes a table bump that cuts his back like in half?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, I'm going to find out.
It's
I'm gonna watch
05,
it, so.
But I remember it being a good match.
Man, I love Holly. I love Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
Big fan of his. I thought he was criminally underappreciated.
Yeah.
People thought he was
both
bad,
guys that are
People
that.
used to say he was a bad promo, Holly, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But his promos always he did his promos perfect to his character, which was just, I'm just a tough badass guy who's gonna beat your ass in the ring, and let's go do it. You know?
The problem was they already had tough badass guys that were gonna.
I get it. Yeah,
and
I totally get that. I totally get it.
Yeah.
The best thing about Hardcore Holly to me though was what ended up surrounding him with Crash Holly and Molly Holly. That they were both so good, dude.
Yeah,
Crash
that was great.
I loved Crash trying to come out saying he was a super heavyweight who weighed like 500 pounds and he had a scowl that he carried. And he was like fucking 5'8" or whatever. Like, there's no way.
Oh my god, dude. They were guys that I would always go against in like wrestling videos.
Absolutely. Yep. So when I would play like No Mercy or something like that, I would always face randos like that. Or guys that had funny looking faces. Like Billy Gunn and No Mercy had a hilarious face model.
Like his face.
So I would always fight him so I could see him run to the ring and it would make us geek. Or Vince McMahon, because I always hated his guts as a kid. Hate. He was my most hated human being when I was a kid, was Vince McMahon. And there's no question. Most hated single human on earth when I was a kid. I
played Here Comes the Pain recently, and I was like,
oh, it's so good.
It's really good. And then I was like, maybe I kind of like Shut Your Mouth better, which was weird. It was more nostalgic for me, I think.
That's probably why.
Like the menus and shit.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and play it because I only ever, like, if I'm playing a wrestling game,
I played more
I have
Here
to
Comes
choose,
the Pain, but
it's always going to be N64. Like, I just don't even think.
Yeah.
And I go WCW versus NWO Revenge or No Mercy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll go back and play Here Comes the Pain. I haven't played Shut Your Mouth in a million years, though. So I should go back. I'll go back and play that.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just more nostalgic for me, I think. But
I also really like SmackDown versus Raw. Which one is it? 05 or something?
I didn't play a lot of those.
The reason why is because it has the original version of the GM mode, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would.
They have GM mode now.
I know, but it's tough. Like, it's very complicated, and I have to like work my way back into it.
Yeah,
there's so much management.
If you want to get back into it, best thing you can watch is Battle of the Brands.
I watched some
down,
of that.
down.
Yeah.
That is the best thing they do, and is incredible.
Yeah, I think I'll just watch all of that. Well, I think I did watch.
Just watch one full season of it.
Yeah,
they have them all as like playlists, I think.
Yeah, maybe I watched a season of it.
Those guys are so good together.
Mm-hmm. Well, they do it right. Like they have them leave the room and then they draft up the show.
Yeah. They're so fucking funny though.
It's a really good concept.
Greasy scum to each other. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love it. Great concept for a show.
Yeah, it is. I love that.
But anyways.
So that's it. Yeah. Again, go onto the website, follow our picks. We'll give you the links that we're going to use.
Yeah, the ones we'll watch them on because we try not to do it sketchy.
But like I said, if they're not there, they should be there if you're following along now. Mm-hmm. But if you want to watch back in the future, it might not be there.
Like if you're following us now, you're finding our show, welcome.
Yeah.
But if you go back on the site, you look through our list of Showdown Swaps or whatever the fuck we're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those links, the farther back it goes, we can't promise they're going to work, but the matches will still be listed.
Half of the stuff is...
You could try to find them.
You're playing a dangerous game when you upload WWE shit.
Yeah.
You know? Even if it's old content.
It's not us uploading it. We're just sharing links to stuff that is already up.
Some guy's video.
Yeah,
and it's we don't know.
And if it gets taken down, that's on those guys. Nothing to do with us. for
All right.
legal reasons. Nothing to do with us.
Yeah, I didn't choose to take it down. We reported it and shit.
No, so these
We're
guys,
just trying to do what's right.
They should be doing that.
Yeah.
We need to protect WWE, who doesn't give a fuck about us.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at W.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go over to w.gg. It's a powder form energy drink. You put it in your water, you shake it up, you drink it.
Oh, yeah.
You like it. And then
you order some with our code.
Yeah. Clear shots. It's all one word. And you get 10% off. Helps us out.
Absolutely.
And so we got there. It's been like 4 weeks since we did one.
So candidly, we're recording this right after New Year's.
Yeah.
And so that's why, because
all that
it's
stuff,
like basically it was just holiday season. We didn't really get a choice in the matter. So
we went through, there's Saturday night's main event. There was a bunch of Raws. There's
a bunch of SmackDown, bunch of Raw.
Raw now is officially done on USA.
That's kind of crazy. A lot of people were saying about Raw being done on USA. They're like, man, it's the end of an era. And I'm like, I guess so, but no one remembers when it was on UPN randomly for 2 years or whatever.
And it's not going to be called the USA era. It's like, no, it's not an era.
It's just always been on USA until the one time it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's just because they always signed a deal with them.
Dude, there's people online that were like, oh, dude, it's like, did you guys watch the Tyson Paul fight? Like, it was buffering the whole time. It's like, dude. There was 108 million watching that live.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Gets 1.5 mil on Raw.
Plus, they're going to be doing it every single week.
Yeah.
Live. So they're going to get the kinks worked out.
Netflix also broadcast 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. And
really?
They worked fine.
Yeah.
So, come on. We're not going to have a problem here.
No, I think it's going to be fine.
It's not 108 million live viewers.
Nope.
1.5 mil. Even if Netflix, because they'll get more viewers than they did on cable. But
I think so. Yeah,
we ain't gonna break 3 or 4 million. That would be crazy.
It would be cool,
but not live.
But
it's not
even
gonna happen.
3 or 4 million live viewers, it's not gonna break Netflix.
It's not. No. We're gonna say this, and then it's gonna be trash.
Completely trash. Yeah. And if it is, we'll come back and we'll say it was trash. And go, well, I don't see that happening. But
yeah. But it is going to be interesting when they transition. So by the time we do the next one, that'll be what happens. The Netflix, the card that's coming up looks awesome. The first Raw. Man. I mean, everything they've done to hype this up. That Rollins and CM Punk's promo. That one that just happened.
I don't give a fuck what else we talk about. That's the number one thing I'm the most excited for. That's one of the best promos in years.
Yeah, it was the segment of the year, I thought.
I thought it was the segment of the entire year.
Yeah,
which
maybe.
is crazy.
Maybe
Rollins and Punk in the ring, dude.
Because now it's the year is actually over, and you're looking at it in retrospect and going, "There was some good shit this year, though."
It was such a good year. WrestleMania 40, was one of the best WrestleManias
Not only that,
of all
but
time.
A lot of the stuff that they did with Cody and Roman, and with Punk and Heyman, and all these.
There was so much gold. This was such a great year for WWE. I think in the future, 10 years from now, we're going to be looking back on that was one of the best years of all time.
And as far as I can see, the trajectory is that way.
It's my God, it's way up.
I don't think anything is going to hurt what's happening here.
Nope, no chance.
It all looks good. We're looking like we're in the green here.
And it's WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania season. We're prepping for Rumble.
Yeah.
That's the next big one, right?
But it's crazy how big they've hyped this, just a Raw.
Yeah.
And it's it's the first one on Netflix, but it's just a Raw, but they're hyping this up like it's
going to be a big deal. Yeah.
Man, they really did a good job in the ring.
This card is insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, just Rollins and Punk though. It's
it's Rollins and Punk. It's Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the women's title, right?
Yeah, and I wonder how much that. I wonder how much they're going to try to wrap that up.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's just going to be another one of the Rhea versus Livs, or if it's going to be if they're going to try to. But they got WrestleMania coming up, so maybe they won't.
Cody and am I wrong, or aren't Cody and Owens having a fucking crazy a ladder match or some shit on the Raw as well?
Yes, it's a ladder match, I believe.
That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
Well, it's like you look at it and you go, okay, like that's absolutely crazy. But then you go back and you look at some of these Raws that were like during the Attitude Era, and you're like,
true. That's fair.
They kind of did that all the time.
They did. They did have world championship matches,
like those
and all
matches,
kinds of stuff.
not necessarily with the hype, but like that was the type of match they would put on Raw with stipulations and things like that. Raw doesn't have a lot of stipulation matches like weekly shows.
Not anymore.
Don't.
Not anymore.
They don't do it that way, which is fine, and it's also. It's just that, when you go back and look at it, you're like, oh, they did that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do what Punk and Rollins did a week before it.
Oh, boy.
That the promos weren't quite like that.
So good, dude.
But they're building it like it's a Mania match,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they've done it, like they've expedited it, and it's been built quickly within like a 3 or 4 week span.
Yeah, I say it hasn't.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think they started
ultimately
building.
It goes back.
I think they started building to that match.
Yeah.
The second Punk came out and they shot camera footage of Rollins flipping out about it.
Well, and he was a referee for the Punk's last match there.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like it has been sort of in the background
They've been
brewing.
teasing Rollins and Punk.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. They've been teasing Rollins and Punk since the day, like the minute Punk came back.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that. But as far as them actually feuding, it really has been not that long.
It's only been a couple weeks.
It's been Punk came out. He gave a great promo where he did something funny, but I thought it was genius. Where he stood up on the turnbuckle and he starts staring up at the corner of the arena.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. And he's just like, you see that? And he's like, yeah, no, there's nothing there, right? There is to me, though. Like, you don't have the vision. I have the vision. Yeah. I've been seeing it my whole life, basically. Like, it was just so good, dude. And it's so obvious what he's doing is he's going, Mania. I get
it's a major call back to, all this stuff, pipe bomb and all that.
Yep. Man, if there's anybody that deserves to get their one Mania main event, it's Punk.
Mm-hmm. These are two, to me, like top 3 in the company right now.
Who, Punk and Rollins?
Yeah.
I would argue they are, yeah. Punk, Rollins, and Cody are like the 3 most over.
I would say they're the top 3 right now.
And all in different ways, all in different ways.
That's why I think it's so good, is because they're going to come out and just, it's so natural for them to be this good,
Here's the thing. Cena's coming back on Raw. His tour begins. Without a doubt, to me, the most important single story that can possibly get told in WWE for the whole year is Cena's journey to the record. Mm-hmm. You gotta have Cena beat Cody to beat Flair's record.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. It doesn't have to be Mania. It's okay. Cena's had his Mania main events and shit. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it at Mania. But you must have Cena beat Flair's record. And the only reason I say you must do it is because there's so much lore behind Cena over all these years. And he's such a deserving, beacon of the industry.
A staple of that,
he's
that product, too.
A very legitimate, inarguable first ballot Mount Rushmore face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Ever.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're ever going to do it, he's the guy, and he's literally tied. Yeah. So it's like, just do it, man. Just do it.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
It'd be one of the biggest moments ever in the history of wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And they could build that real well, too.
Yep. And out of Cena's year this year.
And Cody needs something besides the Owens thing.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be over soon.
Having him, that'll probably be over real soon. The Owens thing.
Yeah.
And then who knows? It might end up being The Rock coming back to feud with him for Mania. Like he hinted at it,
Yeah.
The Rock did earlier. So they've sowed the seeds for that, and we'll see if they go there. And if they don't go there, it's either going to be
have to at some
Punk
point.
wins the You know, it's either going to be Punk wins the Rumble and goes after Cody, or Punk wins the Rumble and goes after Gunther. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Punk wins Rumble, though. And then, like, ideally, what I would love to see is I would love to see Punk.
Punk's going to stay on Raw.
Yeah, I would really like to see Punk win the Rumble and go after Gunther, and Cena come back and feud with Cody and have the story of the feud just be, this is my last chance ever
But you want
to break
Cena
the record.
on Raw. That's the problem.
I don't think it matters where him and Cody are. I know that sounds weird.
I guess the way they're doing it
They can literally
now,
do both.
Yeah, I guess the way they're doing it now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like you are that
because
brand,
because Cody's the current face of the company.
Yeah. He can't just show up. Well, they had anybody show up now.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I
But
remember
you do
back
them on both.
like there was a time where you would like look at a superstar and be like, that guy's that brand. Like you matched the name to the brand. Like Undertaker was always a SmackDown guy, and like
Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle,
and like so
the
you
SmackDown
knew,
6. You know what I mean?
You knew like
Rey Mysterio,
it was weird they had a
Batista.
connection with that brand.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't that weird though, because it was like when SmackDown first started, and they needed that. They had
to build it that way.
Yeah. But eventually that kind of faded away, and I think now.
But you can have a brand split and also commingle talent.
Yeah,
it's not really a problem
for sure. Yeah, and they've done it in smart ways.
They're going to want to more now with two different platforms that they're showing it on.
Yes, for sure.
Because they want.
Yeah, where's SmackDown going to now?
It's on USA. They're going to put it on USA.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's basically taking that. Well, it wouldn't be the same time slot or anything.
But still.
Yeah.
That's
It'll be
cool.
Friday
man.
nights.
That's cool.
I mean, it's under the same company, USA and Sci-Fi is whatever that.
Yeah.
Whoever owns that,
for sure.
NBC, I guess, or is it under the NBC umbrella?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if Peacock's a separate deal or what, but
I'm not sure. But either way, that Netflix Raw looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And they've done a very good job of building that.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's been awesome for like just a weekly show.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a landmark episode, but it's not a PLE or anything. So the way they've been building it's kind of crazy.
It is, yeah. It is for sure.
But it's the right thing to do.
It is, yeah.
You want to draw.
It's the first.
Eyes.
It's the first one. You know, the beginning of this era. So, got to go big.
Let's see. Saturday night's main event was fun too. It wasn't great, but it was fun. You know what I mean?
It wasn't like the greatest pay-per-view of the year, but it was fun. Yeah,
there wasn't anything that like was unexpected. Like all the results were pretty predictable.
Yep. What I liked about it, like obviously the big thing that I thought was wicked cool was Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
That was wicked crazy to see.
Pat McAfee.
Yep.
Is back.
Yep.
That
big fan of that.
Was the big thing too.
Yep. I thought that
McIntyre and Zayn was the match of the night there.
Yes.
That was a great match.
No question.
That was great. But the rest of it I thought was kind of, it was just
okay.
They were coasting through. It felt like
you could tell they were trying to do it purposely in a more retro style.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which was really cool.
I thought this was interesting too. The finish with Owens, because Cody used the chair.
He did,
which was interesting. Kind of a little bit of a heel move there.
And Jesse called it out.
Yeah,
and was like, "Oh yeah, he's the good guy,
mm-hmm.
the guy using the chair to cheat to win."
Yeah,
interesting.
Because they've been like, squeezing that in a little bit. That little Cody has a dark side type thing.
He's gonna, dude.
That'll be perfect for the Cena thing.
He's a very good heel too.
It'll be perfect when Cena, if there's a Cena feud.
If there's a Cena feud, you can use that to turn Cody heel because you're not going to turn Cena in his last year. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you anyways? It doesn't make sense.
No.
No, Cena doesn't need to. He doesn't even need to be like good or bad.
He doesn't need to do anything.
Cena.
At this point.
He doesn't owe anybody anything. He doesn't have to work some complicated character arc. He doesn't have to do shit. His whole story is already set up. I'm coming back for one more run.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's got to wrestle Punk once. He's got to wrestle Orton once.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, if they can work it out to be that way, I think his last match ever should be Orton. I think it should be Orton, because his two greatest rivals pretty much were Punk and Orton.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue Orton even more so than Punk.
Yes, he was the heel staple throughout that most of his run there.
When Cena was the guy for 10 years,
yeah,
Orton was the other guy that was the heel he faced.
Right.
For that whole run.
And you look at that in any generation, you need the bad guy.
You got to have bad guy. That's why a lot of people, I think Triple H is underappreciated.
Yeah.
Because he was the
bad
Orton
guy
of the Stone Cold Rock era, where they had to have him as the guy they were working with, you know.
What was great about Stone Cold and The Rock is they could blend either side. Like, either of them could be the heel in that situation. You know?
Yes. Yep.
That was what was great.
And
about
here's the thing: Austin turned heel, and a lot of people hated it and didn't want him to.
He was kind of a heel all the time, though.
But he was like,
he was an anti-hero.
It was different. People didn't
like
want to see
Ambrose.
him be a real heel.
Yeah.
Except for me, because some of my favorite stuff he ever did was when he turned into a dirty scumbag with Kurt Angle, and they had the cowboy hats and shit, and they were just like lackeys of Vince. That's one of my favorite segments ever in the history of wrestling. Is Vince cutting a promo on fucking Kane, Undertaker, Jericho, Austin, Angle, and I think somebody else in there, and Taker's instantly wicked, irritated, and pissed at Austin. And Austin's trying to be like the gung-ho fucking Vince's right-hand man, dude. And every time Vince says something, he chimes in to like repeat what Vince says.
Yeah.
And he almost breaks Taker, dude.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he does
Almost.
That is hilarious. I forgot about that. So, but the thing that Austin did was he played the heel, but like you still could sense that he was like just going with it for his own reason.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really ever fully Vince's guy.
No.
It was like you knew that he had a plan.
He was doing something. Yeah. He had some bullshit.
There was like a scheming, there was a reason he was doing it.
Absolutely. But yeah, the point is.
Yeah. What was the point?
The point was that Triple H was the real heel to those guys.
You need the ebb and flows there. You need the
and Triple H was so good at being that.
Yeah.
And Orton was that for Cena.
Yeah.
And now Cody has a rare opportunity, because one of the biggest gripes with Cena that a lot of people had, I didn't personally, and a lot of people didn't,
was the heel thing.
Was that he never turned heel.
No. You did get to see it with the ECW, the one night stand. You got to see that a little bit.
Yep. Which was cool. And he was so good at it. But
he was great.
It was just, people never got that with him. I think they can get that right with Cody.
He didn't have to.
I think they can get that right with Cody, where you can turn him heel and it won't ruin him.
No, it definitely wouldn't.
For sure.
Yeah, I could see it. I would like to see it. The War Raiders won the tag titles at that show.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
It was.
But
it was.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. There's a couple things that I'm wondering where they're going. Like even the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six. I'm wondering where that's going.
Yeah.
Like you see it all the time,
not sure.
And then you got Miz mixed into this thing, and then it's like, where exactly
and now
are
it
they?
looks like the Miz got targeted by the Wyatts for whatever he was doing,
Yeah.
And in doing so,
the
Wyatts ended up screwing with the Final Testament or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
The Final Testament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason that didn't sound right, but and then you find out that the Final Testament is actually using the Miz.
Yeah.
They're manipulating him to get at the Wyatts because they just want the Wyatts.
And it's like they're putting all these things in.
They're playing mind games back and forth with each other. And it's cool, but it's like I just don't know where it's going to lead to.
Yeah, like I'm not sure where the end game is. But...
It would be so cool if Alexa Bliss came back.
Yeah.
As part of that whole deal.
it can't be much longer if she is going to come back. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't. But I don't see her not. Like,
I don't either. She was so good.
Yeah. I think that would throw a nice wrench into that whole, into the women's division right now, which they need. Yeah. They need somebody. They need like Charlotte or Becky or somebody to like come in and just like mix it up a little bit. Because you're seeing a lot of things that are stale, like Naomi, and it's like, I don't know. You see it every week. And I don't know. There's got to be something there that changes up.
And they've got
something's got to grab
like the mid-card title for the women's is really interesting. I like that. The tournaments they've done,
that's definitely
helped a lot because it's bringing eyes to more women that you can then in turn give runs with the mid-card title, same way you would with the guys. And that shows you what they're worth and allows you to move them up to the main event picture and make that section of the women's division fresh. You know,
well,
so
I was
think
right.
They needed that.
I thought they were going to give it to Chelsea Green, and they did, and I think that was a smart move.
I think it was a very smart move, and I love what she's doing with it by constantly going, "I'm the longest reigning now."
Rub it in everybody's face,
and everyone's going, "Yeah, we know because you're the only ever."
Yeah,
and she's like, "Yeah, record holder." I love that.
Yeah, which is you know she's not.
She deserves that long, big time, man.
Yeah, I thought so. I saw that coming a mile away. I was like, she's got to be the one that gets this because she's unsung. She looks great every time she's in there.
Yep,
she's like drawing heat, but people also love her because of
she's just too good.
Yeah,
she's too good, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that Pentagon is going to debut.
He's definitely coming back. Yes, he's definitely coming because, well, they definitely showed it.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen probably on the first Netflix.
That's a big way to debut him. And what do you think they do with him? I don't know what to do with him.
I don't know.
Because you can treat him like a main eventer.
You can,
and it's very believable.
I think with the WWE fan base, right? You're going to be introducing him to that world. I don't think he's necessarily as mainstream to the WWE world.
I don't know.
So I think they're going to have to find a spot to slide him in there. And by then you might have the Owens
to introduce him to people.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Put him in somewhere that's upper mid card. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if they do that. Yeah, he's that good.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah, for sure. We just watched that Pentagon match from Lucha.
Yep, and it was incredible.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And they've all but basically said that it's him.
Yeah. So cool. Hell yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking the other day. I was listening to like. I don't even want to put anybody on blast, but I was listening to Conrad's podcast there, Something to Wrestle With.
Okay.
I was like, how the fuck are wrestling podcasts? Like every time I listen to a wrestling podcast, it's like, it sounds like it's 10 years behind, like audio wise.
It's weird.
Like, why is the quality of these shows not
I don't know.
It sounds like he's like doing it all through like
ad breaks that are 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Every 3 minutes.
Like it must be their podcast network that they're on, that Podcast One or something that's doing that.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that are on that. Grill and JR and like there's Jericho's is on that.
Yep.
That Podcast One fucking owns all these.
Yep.
And I don't know if that they're sending them equipment or they have control over. They must have control over ads.
They must, dude. Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I can't believe how like old these sound. They sound like they're 10 years behind.
It's weird.
How is the quality, like audio of our and video of this show better than theirs?
No idea, man.
I couldn't believe
I'm
it.
glad it is.
And a lot of it, what they do
us.
though, well, yeah, in a way, but what they do is a lot of it is over Skype or
that's
Zoom
fair.
Or whatever.
That's fair. A lot of it is just they're remoting in from wherever they live.
But still, Conrad's doing it from his thing. Like he has his own setup. Like, have a better camera or something, man.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know. It was weird to me. Just a weird thought that I had. Because I mean, I like the shows. I listen to them sometimes. You know,
I listen to Bischoff's.
Yeah,
I listen to the Jarrett one. I listen to JR all the time.
Yeah,
I try to listen to both sides.
I'm like
I
podcast
try
one
to
is
listen
fucking...
to guys that talk about AEW and guys that talk about WWE, and I try to just stay on top of all of it, just because it's interesting to me. You know.
And I don't want to throw stones or whatever, but I'm just saying,
I hear you.
It's a weird. It's a weird thing.
I've noticed it too.
I don't know. It just seems like they could be a higher production value.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it comes down to that podcast
network or whatever it is, that they're on.
Network.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It was weird thought. I don't know what else. I don't think I have anything else to talk about really.
That's fine. Yeah. Really, we can call it. What are we on?
55 minutes.
That's a great time. To end the episode, it's just all we have looking forward to is Raw. Raw on Netflix about to be a big deal, man. That's going to be humongous, and we'll be talking about it when it happens for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the show too, because I think this is growing a little bit, and I've seen it. I've seen it growing, which is nice.
Which is nice.
So, I just I'm glad that people are trying to, help support us.
It's been very cool. We do this because
we haven't even been doing it very long.
Watching wrestling, we love wrestling of all types. We're really good friends in real life who have been friends for a million years. And we've always talked about wrestling. We decided to do this out of convenience.
That's the different perspective too, though. Is like you're not listening to dirt sheet writers.
No.
You're just listening to fans.
We're just fans, and all we know is just from being big fans for a million years and researching stuff. And, we've never worked in the industry, so everything any of us have to say about anything in the industry, take it with massive grains of salt, because how could I know?
We don't know jack shit yet.
Very open about that. Just a fan who's watched a ton of wrestling.
Speculation
show.
It's
been very cool seeing numbers grow on the show and seeing it pick up steam and seeing people engage with us in comments.
Yeah.
I love having people comment, telling us that we're idiots and we have the dumbest takes of all time, and giving us what they think it is. Do that. I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see
We want to see other people's arguments and people that agree. That's cool too.
It's interesting because the
awesome,
internet,
the engagement.
I feel like there's so much on the internet for wrestling fans that are a lot of them are like a vocal minority, and it's not really a shared opinion.
Yeah.
And I wish it was more I wish I could hear more people that aren't as vocal.
Yeah.
Telling us what they like,
Sure, of course, yeah.
Because a lot of times it's just oh, I hate this. It's too stale. They've been doing this for 3 weeks now. I'm sick of it. It's 3 weeks,
but that's
dude.
a lame take. Sorry. Yeah. 3 weeks? Are you 12?
Yeah, people get tired of things fast, and I don't like that.
No.
Let it build. Let it
build. Let people cook on both sides.
The internet
WWE and AEW, let them cook.
The TikTok attention span. They want it to be a payoff now. And that's not how it works. Your payoff isn't effective. It's not how the best
wrestling works. Wrestling requires time to cook, time to brew, and time to create
that's
stories.
What I mean. Payoffs aren't effective when you do it the
in 2
week
weeks.
After.
Yeah, then it's oh, okay. Was that a feud? Was that a feud? I guess it was a feud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go to w.gg.
Oh yeah.
Help us out there. Website. There's merch if you want to go to the website and look on the store, and then use the promo code over there on w.gg. That helps us out as well. Definitely. We said, interactions help. So comment and like and all that stuff.
Subscribe, all that stuff.
So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We'll talk about Netflix.
That's gonna be cool, man.
I don't know if we have any other time. Maybe we'll mix something in.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Hell yeah, brother.
We'll see you guys
Peace.
very soon.